Dun, 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 dun. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Bum, 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 bum. What's up, party people in the house?
What up, though?
Welcome to This is Live, one of the sexiest voices in the SFL,
Mr. Master.
Dave Axis. What's up, party people of the SFL? What's going on? Look at this. We got hype trains already. We got Dodger home runs already. I mean, the Dodgers were like, hey, Dave's getting ready to go on the air. We better score 3 runs and hit a couple home runs real quick just for him. That's right. Welcome, everybody, to Axis Live. This is episode 107. I'm your host, Dave Axis. We got another great show, just like Tuesday night. But instead of recapping stuff, we're going to preview stuff. We're previewing the quarterfinals today. We've got a great panel, as always. We have 4 more interviewees popping on tonight. We're going to talk some spreads. We got some Jack's data info here. Of course, we have Gunny's Pearls of Wisdom. We'll do some pick'ems. And I'm going to attempt, as you look and see that blank corner in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, to get the SFL minor league game in here if I can figure out how to do it while we're doing the show. All that being said, let's do this. Let's go to my oh, look at it. I already got the party people up. I'm so smart. That happened fast. Let's check out the party people here in his house. And with Hype Train Level 3, you guys are crushing it since I got back. This is 3 shows in a row with Hype Trains. And if you guys want to post Dodger score, highlights or updates in the chat, I won't hate you for it. Just saying. Let's get things started. Freddie subscribed at Tier 1 for 9 months. Man, I'd say you guys are like 8, 9, 11, 12 months. You guys are making me stick around. I don't know what that's all about. That's what she said is in the house, along with Freddie. We got Kendra Hall. We got Tom Ramen. Sorry, Tom. EJ Minson. Dave Axis is in the house, apparently. Eddie Gage. Cam Curtis. Cam, I hope everything's going okay. I hope your wife is feeling much better today. I can't wait to see your show debut next week. Bob Funk, of course, is in the house. Albert Begin, Jack Wigmore, the lovely, amazing, perfect pink Lisa, Will Todd, Bo Martin Jr., Doyle's here with us. Doyle, I don't know if you were trying to talk to me before the show, bro. I just didn't have time. Sorry about that. Boomberry's here. Frank the Franchise Wade, Bullet Boletsky, Doug Britton. Who else we got? Hold on. We got another subscription, Tier 3 for 7 months. That looks like it's Hunter Norwood. Hunter, welcome. Thank you, bro. That's what she said. I think I already said that. Josh Farnsey. Charles Doherty's here. My old boss, Mark Chisholm, is in his house. Cam just jumped in, is asking, what's up, party people? Cam, we're going to see if we can get this SFL game in the corner, this SFL minor league game in the corner once we get through the monologue and introduce the panel and stuff. We'll see if we can make it happen. Speaking of the panel, we got 3 or 4 here. The 4th one is stuck in traffic on his way, but as soon as he gets here, luckily he goes last, so he buys himself a little bit of time. So in the meantime, let's start in the unscripted circle tonight. It is the one and only, the man who's been with me since day one. He is Frank the Franchise Wade. He needs no introduction, but I'm giving him one anyway, even though he wears ugly sweatshirts. Frank, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, Dave?
What's going on with you? We just had
not much, man.
We just had Sneaky DT. Wait, Sneaky DT? Is that what it says? Yep. Jump in the house too. Frank, how you feeling tonight, bro?
I'm feeling good. High school football team's not doing very well, but hey, I got the SFL.
There you go. I was hearing about that. And you know what? And you can live vicariously through me when the Dodgers come back to beat the Braves in this series. So just throwing that out there as well. In the unfiltered circle, folks, this is a man. I don't know if he wanted me to spill the beans about this or not, but he's been a little under the weather lately, and I guess I'll let him tell you that himself. He's a friend of mine. He plays in the same division. He is the vice president that is everything for the Fort Worth Toros. Everybody, please welcome back Robert Garrett Jr. Robert, what's up, buddy? How you been, man? How you feeling?
Doing pretty well. As you kind of stated, I've been sick. I haven't told a whole lot of people yet, but I had tested positive for COVID earlier this week, so I've been lucky enough that it's been a pretty minor stint with it, and it's been mostly like a minor head cold for me, but hanging in there.
Well, that's good that you're feeling better, and look at look at Frank. You know what? Hey, and I appreciate you, man, being a trooper and doing the show even though you're under the weather. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no problem. It's glad to be back.
Yep. Hey, Nate Hall jumping in right now. Nate, I heard a little bit of your game earlier. Nice call on the minor league game. Let me see if our fourth person is here. Nope. There we go. Okay. Hype train success. Let's see. We received a level 2 hype train emote that I will share with the community as soon as I do this. What are we getting this? We got a Labrador the other night. Let's see what we're gonna get tonight. What is that? Is that a pit bull? Is that a boxer? Anybody know? Anybody recognize that dog? Anybody? Anyone? Anyone? No. All right. Well, we got another dog. We got a lot of dogs in our house apparently. So emotes are going out. Thank you everybody for all the support. Thank you for the subs, the hype trains, the cheer bits, everything. Love it all. Kendra Hall, glad to see you too. See you just popped in. Dwayne just popped in as well. Welcome everybody to the show. Moving on to the unedited circle for this evening. This dude, you may or may not have heard him before. You might have seen him on TV maybe once or twice. I'm not sure. If you recognize him, though, make sure you throw him a shout out. We saw him on TV, I think, maybe once this season. And this is the wide receiver from the London Knights. We got Mike St. Green in the house. Mike, what's up, buddy? How are you tonight?
Hey, what's up, Dave, man? Good to be here, man. It's a pleasure for you to have me here. And but I'm good to be here, man. glad to see you back on.
Did you just say it's a pleasure for me to have you here?
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's okay. I understand. It must be opposite day or something. I get it. It's all right. It's all right. So thank you for being here, and you're welcome.
No problem.
Oh, my God. Yes. Yeah, Kendra, he's almost famous. Not quite. He's almost famous. He's getting there. Let me see. Who else is here? So Bo Martin Jr. popped in. Oh, yeah, I think Bo was already here. Let me see if our fourth panelist is here yet. He's not here yet. So I will leave that censored until he gets here. In the meantime, let's. I guess I probably should have switched that over to the panel. So there's the panel, everybody, just in case you were wondering. For those of you maybe popping in for the first time, not sure what we're doing, this is coverage of the Simulation Football League, a league that has 24 teams. We are now in the quarterfinals. Last week was the wild card as we narrow down to the semifinals the week after, and then the championship. Let's recap these wild card results real quick, just to refresh everybody's memory. Oh, look who just showed up! All right, I'll get you in a minute, bro. As soon as I get through this. Last weekend, wild card, Vegas with the upset over Queen City, 34-20. Arizona with a blowout over London, 47-28. Predators with 20. Was it 20? I think unanswered points. I think they were 10-9 over Los Angeles. And then what I think was the game of the weekend, St. Louis at Vancouver. St. Louis leading that game most of the time. Vancouver coming back and winning it down the stretch. Puts us into this weekend's schedule. And those are your games for the quarterfinals. On Saturday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, the first game, Arizona traveling to Atlanta. The later game on Saturday, Vancouver traveling to Mexico City. Then on Sunday, the early game, Charleston at Florida. And then we wrap up with the lowest seed versus the highest seed. The 11 seed Las Vegas Fury traveling to Baltimore, who, as most of you know, only lost one game this entire season. I think it was the last game of the season. So definitely some good storylines. There's going to be some good games. Frank, let's break down this Arizona-Atlanta game first. Atlanta been strong all season. Arizona winning a very competitive, strong West Division and a very impressive first-round playoff game. Tell us how you see this game turning out.
All right, well, the Scorpions are traveling to Hotlanta to take on the Swarm. When you look at these numbers, these two teams are very similar. The question is, which Ashley Jackson will show up? Jackson has thrown 24 interceptions this season, but she's thrown for over 3,500 yards, 19 touchdowns. Bryant Dynasty, 29 touchdowns, 19 interceptions, just over 3,300 yards. Both have overall done a better job protecting the football this season as compared to other seasons. Except for Jackson, these last three games, 11 of her 24 interceptions have come in the last three games of the season. 13 interceptions over the first 9 games, 11 in the last 3. She'll need to get back to her start, the form she was in at the start of the season to pull this one out. DJ Moses has quietly had a good season. EDG Hollywood's numbers are basically identical. They're within 1 touchdown of each other, within 2 rushing yards of each other. Their only separation is that Hollywood has scored 5 touchdowns through the air. Moses only has 1, which is surprising because Moses has about 20 more catches than Hollywood does. Both receiving cores are similar. The Hands brothers have combined for just over 2,000 yards, 2,099 to be exact, 14 touchdowns. Boo Chisholm, Siege Falco are 2,032 yards with 19 touchdowns. Who's going to be that third down, that third receiver threat for Arizona? Will Todd has 3 touchdowns. TJ Punk has not found the end zone at all this season. The guy you need to keep an eye on is going to be Jamal Woody. And I'm not just saying this because he's a tight end. He always seems to be productive when you have forgotten about him. He just pops up and all of a sudden he's got 2 touchdowns on the board. So that's a guy that I'm going to keep an eye on during this game. D.D. Sachs has 12 sacks for Arizona. Josh Williams has 10.5. I think D.D. Sachs has 11 sacks, if I'm not mistaken. Josh Williams has 10.5. Cree Higgins leads his team with 101 tackles. Moore leads his team with 111. Jay Miraculous has 7 interceptions for his team. Bernard Smith, IV, has 6 for his team. Special teams are almost even. Offensively, they mirror each other as well. They are very close in numbers in just about every category. The 2 numbers that stand out to me, Atlanta scores 5 more points per game on average than Arizona. Also, the turnover differential. Arizona is -3. Atlanta is +10. You want to be playing your best football when heading into the playoffs. Arizona is 1-2 the last 3 games. Atlanta has been dominating 3-0. Jackson, like I said earlier, threw 11 interceptions in those 3 games. Bryant Dynasty has only thrown 1 interception in those last 3 games. The Scorpions, dominated their playoff game. They had, I think, 6 interceptions during that game to help them to victory. Crazy things happen. This is the SFL. We don't know what exactly is going to happen here. We could see a total meltdown by either team, or I think this is going to be a game to watch, though. It's going to be close, but I think Atlanta pulls this out.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it will be a competitive game. I think it's always hard to win in Atlanta for sure. Speaking of Atlanta, we have first interviewee of the evening here with us this evening. He is the general manager of Atlanta. Siege Falco's in the house. Siege, what's up, buddy? How you been, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Dave?
Hey, I'm doing good. Glad you made it here. Just in time, I see.
Yeah, just a little late. It's a little late. My bad.
No worries. I hope your mic check is fine, and we're all good to go. Hey, I want to ask you guys, based on the season you had last season, and comparing that to this season, were you guys surprised at your number 3 seed, winning your division, having the success you had this season? Did you, like the goals that you set, did you exceed them? Did you meet them? I mean, obviously the goal is a championship every season, but based on where you were last season to this season, what were the goals and how did you guys come out on those?
So my main focus this season was to make sure we get to the playoffs. These past 3 seasons have just been building up dynasty and making sure that we have, a good number 1 quarterback that we can depend on from season to season to season, and now that he's built up and we have, him stacked with animations and we're back to our wide receiver 3 core. As much as we loved Will Todd in our second tight end, the way that our offense rolls, and Dynasty apparently just doesn't like to target the tight end 2s.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, and even Jamal right now, like the past season, he's just refused to target Jamal other than 2 or 3 times a game maybe, and that's just the way the AI rolls sometimes, and our playbook just works better with that 3 wide receiver set. And our main goal was to get to the playoffs, and like you said, championship's always a goal, but once we got to the playoffs, it's like we're there and we're not, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be coming back, next season and the next season and the next season. So
Awesome. Yeah, you guys are building something good over there. Frank, what do you got for Siege tonight?
Hey, Siege, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Frank?
Doing good. Hey, my question for you is, season 14, you won the championship. The past couple seasons have been kind of rocky. Other than personnel, what has changed to get you back to that championship form?
Mostly organization in the locker room and just making sure our guys know what's going on, and like especially with the new progression system, getting everyone hooked up with the website and getting good guys through the draft and through free agency that's going to be there, season after season. Because that's the big thing about building a good team is having, the past 3 seasons we've only had 90% turnover, and that makes my job as a GM, so much easier when I only have to look for 2 or 3 guys a season at max. And it's just really nice to have those guys in our locker room that are here for the long road, regardless if we're up, regardless if we're down. Like they're ride or die, and I couldn't ask much more from these guys. They put in the hard work every single week, and I appreciate everything that they do.
Siege, last question before we let you go. Tell us about this Arizona team. Why you think they're so tough. What you have to really concentrate on coming up this weekend.
So obviously, with him picking up Will Todd, he's always a target, and going to be a big focus for us, especially with our linebackers, our young linebackers. Them having to pick up, Will Todd, who, is in his sophomore year, and he's a stud, and he's making big plays over there, along with TJ Punk and Donnie Hands and James Hands, who gets ridiculous catches every single week, and with Moses, you always have to be loading the box and making sure that he's not getting, loose, and Eddie Gage in the, defensive back, like they're loaded on defense and on offense, and so you kind of have to play both sides of the field and respect them for who they are, because once you get to the playoffs and the semifinals, like you're not facing teams with a lot of weaknesses.
Right.
It's a lot of just game planning and trusting that your players are going to make those plays, and trusting that your game plan is going to be the better one, or the one that comes out on top.
I completely agree. I mean, and let's think about this even. Siege, take it a step further. The final 8 are great, but the 12 are great, and there's even a couple borderline teams that could have easily made the playoffs. There's a lot of competition in this league now.
Yeah, and like you at Lone Star and DC lost how many games by 2 or 3 points?
Right.
Like there's so many teams that were just there or just almost at the playoffs, or didn't get that one win or loss to go their way, and it's such a competitive league in the majors and in the minors. I mean, watching it right now, I mean the amount of blowouts is so irregular nowadays. It's so back and forth, and you got to respect every single team that you play. You can't sleep on anyone nowadays, because then you have London beating Baltimore week 12, and you got to respect them with doing that, because that means that anyone can beat Baltimore. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Like you can be 5-12 or 5-7 or 10-2. Like anyone could win at any time, especially with legend settings and how much work that people put in nowadays. Like you never know.
Any given Saturday or any given Sunday. Speaking of which, Siege, good luck this weekend, bro. Congrats on a great season. Give my best to everybody over there, and good luck this weekend, bro.
Hey, I appreciate it.
You
have a good one, guys.
See you, bro. Real quick, the Swarm are favored by 3.5 at home. That tells you how much respect Eddie Gage in Arizona is getting this season. Over under a 54.5. And Arizona, last time I checked, just a little bit before the show, a slight edge over Atlanta, believe it or not. 84-80 in the who you got, which is a little crazy for me. We're going to move on to game 2, but before we do that, I think we need to introduce our last panelist who had to fight traffic to get here and finally made it here. There's the hat. Hey, did they send you my hat? That's the same hat I ordered, and it went to Robert Garrett Jr. instead. I was wondering where my hat went. In the unforgettable,
Dynasty sent it to me the week they opened the store.
You didn't send me one. Dynasty. Where's Dynasty?
The link, not the hat.
Oh. In the unforgettable circle tonight, fresh off driving through Indianapolis Traffic. The general manager of the London Knights, Chad Rowan, is with us. Chad, what's going on, bro? How you feeling? You stressed out? Did you get a chance to eat, get a drink, anything?
I got a drink here.
There you go.
So, no, I'm doing good. My camera's a little off as I can see, so got to fix some things while I'm offline. But yeah, doing pretty good. Doing pretty
All
good.
right. That's good. You got time. You got time to fix all that, bro.
Yeah.
Till we get to you.
You'll see me tweaking around with it. Don't worry.
No worries at all. All right, moving on to game 2 this weekend. Vancouver, who had, I think, the best victory of the wild card weekend, traveling to a very tough Mexico City team. Robert, we know this team very well. We both play with them in the same division. Tell me about this game this weekend.
Yeah, I think this game could set up to, and obviously any game this weekend could arguably be the best of the weekend, but just the offensive firepower that both of these teams have and the things that they're able to do. Vancouver, number 1 in the passing game, number 1 in yards per game. Mexico City, number 1 in rushing yards a game. And another big one is third down percentage for Mexico City, 64%. They are just able to move the ball down the field efficiently, but Vancouver's offense, in the same way, able to strike. But I think the big thing that's going to come down this week is defense. Defense is going to play a huge part in this game, especially Mexico City's. If they are able to contain the passing game of Vancouver, they get the ball back into Phoenix Jones' hands and can chew up as much clock as they are looking to. But third in points allowed a game, third in rush yards allowed. Mexico City's defense has been stingy. Another big stat goes with the third down percentage I mentioned earlier. Their defense is number 1 in first downs allowed, 182 on the season. Getting down the field's tough on them. Vancouver is going to have to look at the receivers, Brett Killian and Kinder Hall, who are 6th and 7th respectively on the season for yards. Killian with 1230 and Kinder Hall with 1222. That offense obviously able to strike. And like I said, I think it's going to come down to a big game from the defensive backs. Obviously, Jeffrey Daggs back there. A good one to lean on for the defense with Mexico City.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Any game this weekend could end up being the game of the week. It's going to be that competitive. I've got actually the owner of Mexico City here with us this evening, Ramos Lynn. Ramos, welcome back to the show, bro. How you been?
Hey, I'm great, Dave. Thank you very much for having me, man.
Of course, man. It's always good to have you. Let me ask you, what do you contribute to the consistency that Mexico City has had, especially these last 3 seasons when we've done all the changes, right? We've done roster expansions. We've gone to legends. We've had bigger drafts. We've had all these changes, and yet Mexico City is always in that 4, 5, 6 spot no matter what. What do you attribute to that?
You know, it's a great team effort by everybody, Dave. Everybody contributing on, you know, obviously I have Matt Wilson helping me with, you know, being a co-owner, and I have Ray Bentley as the general manager, and, you know, they do a great job. Matt Wilson is a brilliant football mind, so is Ray Bentley, and the players that had come in and just every single week not missing progression and just are willing to get better every single week. It's great. You know, we have a full-on rookie secondary, and everybody has stepped up. Huge. You know, Gerard, we have Xavier, we have Jermaine. Ben, I will say Ben Charles is almost a rookie. He's in his second year, but he came mid-season last season as a base copper guy. So, you know, he's only in his first full season, and everybody's just playing amazing.
Robert, what question do you have for Ramos this evening?
So my question for you was, obviously headed into this season, there was a lot of hype around the South Division as a whole. How does it feel to be the sole representative for the division in the playoffs?
Ouch, Robert.
Yeah, I'm in the boat too.
It's kind of weird because I think that the record doesn't indicate how good Fort Worth, Lone Star, and Houston are. You know, just a couple of weeks we lost against Houston actually by 5 points. We got tackled at the 2-yard line. We were right there to win the ball game, but it didn't happen. Lone Star, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Ike McBride is the toughest running back to stop in the league, in my opinion. And just Fort Worth is incredible as well with those tight ends and how Stephen Hacker can take a game away. So it's kind of weird. It's good to win the South Division, of course. We were leading that division last season, and then Fort Worth was able to take it away from us. So it's obviously good to win it and be in the playoffs again.
Hey, Ramos, I want to ask you about Vancouver, but before I do you condone the commissioner coming in my chat, my show chat, and lying to the entire community right now? Do you condone that kind of behavior?
No. Cam's terrible. Cam's terrible.
He's absolutely.
You're wrong for that, Cam. You're wrong for that.
So wrong for that. I want to ask you, Ramos, before you go, about
Yes,
this
sir.
high-powered, hashtag ban the commish, Siege. Mike St. Green, you just got promoted, buddy. This high-powered offense of Vancouver, and we all know this is not a one-season thing. This is not a joke. This is a consistency thing. When it comes to Vancouver, with their passing game, with the yardage, with scoring points, with the dynamic receivers they have, how do you even begin to think about stopping that kind of offense?
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because this is as you said, this is not a one season where Vancouver has exploded. This is every single season.
Yeah.
Like every single season, Kendra Hall and Brett Killian are up there, not only in yards but in yards per catch. Like you see Kendra Hall, and I don't know the numbers right now, but in seasons past, when I look at him, it's 18.5 yards per catch or something crazy like that. And the tight ends go crazy in the deep game too. It's not like the tight ends go in shallow crosses. You have those guys running deep post, and you have fade routes on them. So you really have to be solid on every single part of the defense. You have to be able to pressure Tom Pepper, and you have to be able to have a good back end, because if not, they're gonna just kill you in the deep passing game. But at the same time, you have a great running back in Robert Redford that you also have to account for. So it's tough, and it's been that way forever. Ever since they came into the league in season 9, it's just been that way with Brett Killian. Has been there forever, and Chris Curtis, everybody that they had is just,
I mean, the way you talk, it almost seems like Vancouver's stacked, but you guys are pretty stacked yourself, Ramos. You guys have a very talented offense. Obviously, you've got one of the most consistent quarterbacks in the league. Great receiving core. I could see this being a really high-scoring affair between the two of you. Do you see it kind of turn out the same way?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Sometimes you expect the super high-scoring game, and sometimes the exact opposite thing happens, where defense are on point, and the pass rush is going, and the running backs cannot move, and then you have a 20-17 game in your hands. So
right.
So I think it depends on turnovers as well, Dave. Probably teams are getting yards all over the place, but then a team is getting 5-6 interceptions, so that's keeping the other team out of the end zone, and the score keeps close. So you never know.
You never know. Turnovers, I mean, there's some games that just gets out of hand, Ramos, and I agree with you. Thank you for coming back on the show. Congrats on a great season. Good luck this weekend against Vancouver.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks you.
Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, we're gonna take a break from this, and we're gonna check and see if my main man Gunny's here right now. Gunny, are you around? Is Gunny around? 9 times out of 10, I get the yes, I'm here, and then there's that one time, right? Let me see if he's muted. Are you muted, bro? Is Gunny muted, bro? What happened to Gunny? Oh,
he is not muted.
He's not muted, but I don't see the green circle around him either. Hey, Gunny, jump out and come back in again while I chastise Chad for a moment about his Giants real quick. Let me see. What did Chad have to say in the chat? Hold on. Maybe I should put that censored circle back over you. Hold on. Let me see that. There you go. That's so much better.
Dodgers
I know where the Dodgers can. I know where the Dodgers are going, and I know where the Giants can go. Gunny, do we have you yet? Do we have to go without
I'm here.
Oh, there you go. All right, Gunny. I was a little worried about you. Plus, I was stalling. I don't think Ray Ray's here, so we don't have your lyrics in the chat yet. But I'm sure somebody will, jump to it and hook us up there. I'm going to get your music started, but the floor is yours, Gunny.
All right, but yes, I did have myself muted, so yes.
You were muted, bro.
I was muted, bro. All right, well, I'm going to give a big shout out to the 8 teams that are in the quarterfinals. I'm going to give a shout out to the owners, the seasons they started, their best records of the year, and their championships they have won. First of all, we have Baltimore, Tim Johnson and Thomas Paternetti. They started in season 11. Championship, season 15. Best record, also season 15, 12-3. Number 2, Florida, Mighty Max Paul, season 8. Formerly known as the Alaska Storm. They won a championship in season 10, 11, and 12. Their best record was season 11, 12-0, undefeated season. At number 3, the Atlanta Swarm, Mark Chisholm, season 9. Best season, season 14, 10-2 record, championship season. Number 4, Mexico City, Ramos Lynn, season 5. Also, Matt Wilson is also owner as well. Championship, season 9. Best record, also season 9, 11-4. Vancouver, season 9, Andy Hamilton. Season 9 was also their best record, 10-5. Number 7 is Arizona with Eddie Gage. I believe Eddie Gage moved to Arizona in season 14, but they started as the Oklahoma City Renegades all the way back in season 1. Season 1 and 2, they had a 6-4 record. Last season, I believe, might have been the Arizona Scorpions' best record at 7-7. Number 8, Charleston, Jack Brown and Johnny Bravo. Season 10 was their best. It started season 10 as the Indianapolis Spitfire, or that maybe been when they moved to Charleston. Their best record was season 14 at an 8-5 record. And at number 11, the Las Vegas Furry, John Bond and Tony Benefield, which I think is Max Itera and Max Jackson, but I could be wrong on that. They started in season 11. Their best record was season 16 at 7-5. What you have with all these gentlemen, they have experience in the league. They've all been around a long time. And good luck to all these teams this weekend. And with that, Dave, that is all.
That was perfect, Gunny. You nailed the timing on the music again. And you know what the great part, folks, about that? Gunny can't even hear the music. That's how good Gunny is. He must have a sniper on it or something. I don't know. But first of all, what did somebody else say something about? Oh, about Ray Ray. Oh, she's calling the minor league. She's doing her debut. That's great. I wish I could have had it on here. I couldn't get the volume to go off, so you guys would have heard the volume the whole time. I'm going to have to work something out with Cam for the next time that this happens, where the minor league games are on a Thursday night. Real quick, before I jump back over to Mike St. Green for Game 3 this weekend, I forgot to mention Mexico City is favored by 6.5 points. That's actually the second lowest spread for the weekend, but it has the highest over-under at 59.5. And it looks like Mexico City is running away with the Who You Got. SFL Nation taking Mexico City 108-54 last time I checked. So that's pretty much a landslide. Cam, he's going to mess my show up again next week, he said. Next week's looking like both semis will be next Saturday. Okay. Is that what he's talking about? Let us know how Ray Ray's doing. I wish we could have had her on here. That would have been great. All right, Mike St. Green. Game 3 on the slate this upcoming weekend in the quarterfinals. Charleston. We've had both of their owners on as guests over the last couple weeks, and how great it is that in their first year they've been able to secure a playoff spot, a home to host a playoff game at home, and to win that game. And congratulations, you get to play Florida, who is fresh off the championship game last season and a number 2 seed again this season.
Yeah, Dave, I'm going to start this preview with a review of the previous matchup between Florida and Charleston about 4 weeks ago. It was an interesting matchup for the first half, Dave. It was 17-17 at the half. Florida ended up pulling away in this game and winning 40-24. And there's just a couple interesting tidbits from this game. Florida 28 first downs, Charleston only 8 first downs. Florida third down percentage 68% to 25% for Charleston, and Florida's time of possession 28-28 to 14-28 for Charleston. So basically what that tells me is that Florida basically controlled the ball for a majority of this game, and even though Charleston were able to hang with them up until half, it obviously wore the defense down, which in turn, Florida just pretty much poured it on in the second half. And let's fast forward to what we're going to see Sunday. We're going to see a solid Charleston team. We're going to see a pounded on the ground offense with Keith Swearingen. We're going to expect to see that from him. If he gets 150 yards plus, that's definitely going to be a positive for the Predators, but they're going to have to get the passing game going in this ball game. In the previous matchup, as I was talking about, T.D. Drew only had 12 completions. He's going to have to find Lyric Da Vinci, the tight end, and if they're going to get any big plays in this game, it's going to come from Buchanan Simons. He averages about 16 yards per catch, and so that's what we're going to have to see from Charleston if they're going to be successful in this game. As far as offensively, defensively, they've given up the second least points allowed in the league. So the defense is solid. We saw that secondary make huge plays over the past few weeks, and especially last weekend against LA. And they've given up the least amount of passing touchdowns. So if they can control the passing game of Florida, keep Florida off the field this time around, they should be successful. But now we're going to turn to Florida. As I mentioned, they're going to control the clock. And what they're going to do, how they're going to do that, they're going to do that with Bullet Boletsky, and one of my, under the radar MVP candidates this season. Bullet, 1,246 yards on the season, 17 rushing touchdowns to go along with 2 receiving touchdowns. And with those 2 receiving touchdowns, he also has 96 receptions on the season. So this guy is a huge contributor to what Florida likes to do on offense. And lately, that big tight end, Verdon Zarkov, has been involved in that offense. And I think he's made a huge difference in what Florida's been doing, able to control the clock with a lot of teams and come up victorious. So going to be a tight game. Charleston's going to have to play solid defense, get Florida off the field, but I'm probably going to lead towards Florida in this game.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to lean Florida as well. Speaking of Florida, we have the mighty man himself. Max Paul is here joining us this evening. Max, you know what? I'm just going to call you Mighty. I like calling you Mighty better. Mighty, how you doing, bro? Welcome back to the show. It's been a minute.
I'm good, Dave. It's nice to have you back, brother. You took a hiatus. You had to take care of some things, which is fine. But it's one of those, I guess, the absence makes the heart grow fonder deal. So definitely, happy to have you back.
Yeah, Chad tells me that every day, so I totally get it. Hey, Mighty, big question for you. I've actually been thinking about this for probably a few months. Not like every second, but it keeps crossing my mind. When you guys lost quite possibly the best or second best SFL championship game ever to Denver, was it deflating? Was it motivating? Was it fuel to make you even better or as good this season? Kind of take us through, after losing that game, having to have the offseason, rebuilding back, and then coming back and still getting a number 2 seed again this season.
This answer is going to be multifaceted, so just bear with me. Watching our second string tight end drop that third down pass right before the 2-minute warning, and basically leaving us with no other choice but to kick the field goal to kind of take, I think at that point it was like a 2-point lead. Right then and there, in my mind, I knew we lost. Just because Denver's offense last season was just stupid. Like the balance between McChesney being able to, being the MVP of the league, being a pain to stop, and then their passing offense, though not being explosive, being more than adequate enough to move the ball. And we're having 2 minutes. The guys got excited when we got a sack on I think on and that set up like a 3rd and long, right? And then but that 3rd and long, I knew the defense we were in, and I knew what Denver wanted to play and what play they want to utilize, and I knew that if we weren't able to force them out of the field with a turnover, not a deflection, a turnover, like there's no way. And I just the minute that pass was dropped line, man, we lost this game because we left Denver way too much time. And I know the job Jeremy does coaching the boys up and just the veterans and just the stars they had at that time. So to say that it was deflating, not really, because it was one of those, man, I finally got the boys back to where I believe we, competitive wise, where we should be. And just whenever Denver and us getting, into games, they're always kind of classics. Some of the record books, whatever happens kind of deal. So, more of the guys, more for the rookies, your Bullets, your Hammers, guys that hadn't been in those kind of games with everything on the line. More for them. I felt more for them. Like, man, I wish we could have for them. But as for me personally, it's like, I guess this how the cookie crumbles. We've won so many close games at the end. With a bounce here and a bounce there, and with Ron with the ball in his hand, being able to do his riverboat Ron magic. That eventually is one of those it averages out kind of deals.
Right.
But it did add fuel to the fire to kind of what we can't. Unfinished business. We can't just rest on the laurels. Yeah, we've won 3. Yeah, we just went to 1. We can't just, be. I can't for the new guys, for your Justin Blackwells, for your Stephen Blacks. For your Polly Truths that just hopped on the squad. I can't rest. I can't. There's never a time where I could just let me forward and end this week, put my feet up. It's all right. No, I got 20 guys, 21. We got 23 guys on the team. I can't. So it's fuel, it's motivation. When I want to rest, it's like, no, I can't. So the guys in the locker room, I got to put the best effort forward. Thankfully, Ben Jackson came as an OC, and you see what he did with Bullet and Ron on offense.
Yeah.
All I got to do is focus on defense. So, sorry it was long-winded, but I just
you're good. No,
many
that's
things there.
Dude, the people, hey, they love it. They love your passion. They're even talking about it in the chat right now. They eat it up, bro. It's amazing to hear your passion when you answer questions. Mike St. Green's with us. He's going to ask you a question real quick.
Hey, Mighty, man, good to talk to you again, man. Good to hear you. Hey, man. What's happening, Mighty? Hey, man, quick question for you. Charleston, a division rival. You just played them a few weeks ago. When you game planning going into this game, does that make that easier or harder, considering that you just met them a few weeks ago and, it's a division foe? You see them all the time and they see you. Is it easier or more difficult to prepare for a team like that?
It's a little more difficult because there's some familiarity there where they have an inkling of what we like to do both offensively, defensively. That's why the game we played this season was so close because they're like I told Johnny Bravo, the co-owner and also defensive coordinator there. I gave him kudos. Like, bro, that defense kept us up when it was time to prep. During the regular season, same deal again. That defense is giving us headaches trying to figure out how to attack it, and kind of finding ways to make to get our voice to shine consistently, right? Because man, you got Jack Brown back there, you got Johnny Bravo, Manny Moore in corners. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's rough, it's tough sledding against that defense. So the familiarity between us, they know what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? We know what they want to do. To me, it's more difficult than finding a brand new opponent who, though you might not be too familiar with what they want to do, they might not be familiar with what you're trying to do either, where you might be able to catch them slipping because they might not see something coming.
Hey, thanks, brother.
Hey, Mike, did you see Cam's comment in the chat? On your
I'm not.
On your first
I missed
answer,
the comment.
Yeah,
I'm on mobile. Sorry. Yeah.
No, that's all right. On your first answer, he says he went to the store to get some groceries, came back, and you were still going.
I know Cam ain't talking. Y'all know how long-winded that man gets. Yo,
Right.
just say it.
Right. Hey, last question before I let you go, and it's actually more about Charleston than it is about you. Um, Jack and Johnny, first-time owners. They've both been in the league, a minute, but first-time owners getting a taste of that early success. Do you have any mighty wisdom, if you will, to give to them to say, either good or bad, maybe a warning, anything to say, hey, it could be something like this is, don't rest on your laurels, like you said earlier, or maybe something to get them over the hump, anything like that.
I'm gonna use a Biggie line for y'all old heads. Y'all know exactly what I'm gonna say. Never get high off your own supply. You know what I'm saying? Like, though everybody else might be cheering you on and carry on their shoulders and, oh my gosh, you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. If you believe and don't continue to do the work and homework necessary for the accolade and adulation to continue to come your way, you'll soon be on the outside looking in once the dance begins with the rest of the team that struggled that season. So that is what I have for anyone who's listening to me, because like President, like Destro always said, winning is difficult. So when you get it, don't look the gift horse in the mouth. Be happy that you did and move on to the next one.
Awesome, Mighty. Thank you for coming on the show, bro. Good luck. And, like you said, success can be taken at any second away from you. And so congrats on all your success, keeping things consistent. Good luck this weekend against Charleston, bro.
Appreciate you, Dave. All right, fellas. Y'all be easy.
Later, bro. In this game, Jack's data has Florida favored by 7.5. It's the second highest spread of the weekend. 48.5 over-under is the lowest over-under for the weekend. And Florida is running away with the who you got, 131 to only 39, almost 100 more votes for Florida over Charleston. Charleston is definitely going to have to kind of channel their inner Vegas, if you will, I feel like, to upset Florida this weekend. Winkler jumping in the chat, asking Chad if he's about to go commit a crime after the show. That's muddy. Let's move on to our last game on Sunday. Speaking of the criminal from San Francisco over there, the number 11 Las Vegas Fury, Chad, coming off just a great upset victory last weekend in the wild card, but you get to play the high-powered offense, potentially the MVP of the league. I mean, Baltimore, you could probably choose 2 or 3 of those guys to maybe even be the MVP of the league. You get to travel to Baltimore and play the number 1 seed, a team that's been just cracking everybody. Tell me about this game and what do you think about Las Vegas' chances?
First off, Mike, you know where your contract's at, buddy. So you just got to sign. You ready to go. So, yeah, and second, I might drop a beat. Who knows? I really can't tell, but if I did, it wouldn't go swell. There's a beat for you. Anyway, so anyway, that is white boy rap right there, right? That is white boy rap. All right, so let's break this shit down, right? Vegas came out in this game and played very well, right? And really surprised a lot of teams because, I wasn't expecting Joseph Green and his playoff debut to play that well.
Right. I don't think anybody was, yeah.
I don't think anybody did. I mean, the guy had 80% completion, 3 TDs, 1 interception, 275 yards. I mean, he played lights out. And like I said on your show last week, talking about that game when I predicted Vegas to win, by the way. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I predicted Vegas to win.
I'm looking back. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You can find the record. and that's because of the fact of 2 guys that I pointed out, Max Jackson and Marika Tyra, which, by the way, both had interceptions in that. So the defense was really solid for them. The offense was really solid for them. Coming into this ball game, they had the momentum, right? They snuck into the playoffs, having that big victory against Arizona, something that I couldn't do last week. I got my ass kicked, right? Let's just call it like it is. And so they come in on that victory. They come in and beat a great team, right? And now they get to face another great team in Baltimore. On Baltimore's side of things, though, I mean, as you said, I mean, Jack Wigmore, MVP caliber player, probably will be the MVP of this season. I mean, you had 2 great wide receivers, Mac Chima and Ivory Irvin.
Mm-hmm.
You can't forget about Daley Holder. You can't forget about Lloyd Graham. I know I haven't. And the two back system, this is the first season that I can remember. I mean, I learned under TJ and all this stuff. This was a guy that never even thought about a two back system at one point. Now he's got that two back system with T. Roy and Jimmy Hazard has really proved out well. I think that's kind of a key here for them. And that defense has just been lights out, right? Cyron Yates IV has been a hell of a ball player. Frank Smith, that secondary Ben stacking paper, my last draft pick when I was the GM there, just fantastic, right? And it's just, like I said, this game is going to be pretty fantastic to watch. And it's going to be closer than a lot of people think.
I don't know that I agree with that last statement, but I mean, we'll see.
Stamp it, Dave.
I mean,
Stamp it.
Hey, wait. Las Vegas played you guys the last week of the season? When did they play you? No, when did they play you?
No. Vegas didn't play us all year.
No, they played. Okay, who did they play? They played
Arizona.
No, yeah, in the last week, because they played us either week 11 or 12. They played Arizona. Then last week and now Baltimore. If they could pull this off, it may be one of the best 4-game winning streaks I've seen in the SFL in a while, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. What is Simulation FL, Cam? What's this? Oh, Mike beat you in fantasy football last week.
He's just mad.
I see it.
He's just mad because I got mad rhymes.
Hey, also, hey, Cam, can you put some updates in here from the SFL M games, if you would? Like, I can't see it right now, so some people might not be able to.
Kicking ass. Can somebody tell me how bad Lexington's kicking ass right now?
I don't know, because I haven't seen it. But speaking of one of the people we just talked about that is a potential MVP candidate for Baltimore, we have the quarterback with us tonight. Jack Wigmore is in the house. Jack, welcome back to the show. It's been a while. Good to see you. How you been?
I'm great, and I'd be doing even better if they're losing right now, but I haven't checked, so I'm not sure.
If who was losing?
The Dodgers.
Oh, no, they're not. They're up 4-2, bro.
Wiggy.
That's a shame.
It's great. Real quick, Cam saying Lexington 24, Ottawa 0 in the second quarter. Wow.
There you go. Go Mutt
Rock. And Memphis 21, 14 over San Jose right now at halftime. As people are loving you in the chat already, Jack, saying getting wiggy with it. First question I have for you, and it's kind of just an obvious, straightforward kind of thing. Are you surprised at the just ridiculous offensive output of your Baltimore team this season? It's kind of over the top, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't say I'm surprised. I mean, we knew, going back to season 15, even season 13 when I first got to Baltimore, we knew we had a good offensive plan put together. And then now we get T-Pat back on the staff, and we're able to put things together, and we know how to get this offense moving. I think we got good personnel here. I think we have a lot of guys that just want to get the team winning, and I think we work hard every week to get the offense moving. And I think, over the course of the season, that's just shown you put in the work and you get results from it.
Yeah, having 3 offensive players that could be MVP candidates is kind of ridiculous. We've got somebody else here that's going to ask you a question. I don't know if you've heard of him or not. His name's Chad Rowland. He wanted to ask you a question or something. I don't know.
I do? Never heard of him.
Never heard of her.
God, I still remember when you were a punter, Jack. So, I mean, my question, I actually have a different one than I suggested before, Dave. But
oh, great.
I know. Thank you. My question to you is, this is the first season that you guys have had a 2-back system, right? We haven't had a fullback in Baltimore since when I was there. Talk about having T-Roy move over to fullback and how valuable that was to be able to get a guy like Jimmy Hazard in there.
Yeah, so I think we saw a lot from Jimmy coming out of the minor leagues. He just has the ability to just make guys miss. I mean, T-Roy, I love him, but he was kind of a more run-through guys. And when you look at the backs in the SFL nowadays, you see some of these crazy runs where they're making 5-6 spin moves, and that's just not something that T-Roy could do. So I think we looked at his strengths, which is just power running, and he can do that if we give him the ball from the fullback position, run him right up the middle. He can get us 5-6 yards easy, and then we can give Jimmy the ball on the outside, and he can take it to the house. I mean, I think he's still leading the league in yards per carry, and that's because we may not run the ball a whole lot, but we just have such explosive runners back there and guys that can do it so many different ways that when we give them the ball, they make plays.
Dude, Chad, you're just looking like a police composite sketch. Dude, people are just lighting you up in the chat. It's great. You guys keep it up. I love when
It's a
Chad.
crime looking this good, Dave. It's a crime looking this good.
Oh God, Jack. Before I let you go, I got to ask you, especially being a quarterback, your thoughts not just on this Vegas team as a whole, the run that they seem to kind of be on. We talked about it Tuesday. It's kind of like a March Madness run for them right now. The team that really nobody wants to play, but more importantly, as a quarterback. This secondary they have, their defense has really been stepping up. How do you prepare for that? What do you think about this Vegas team on this run right now?
Yeah, I think we just got to play mistake-free football, and people say that a lot, and it doesn't really mean much. But I think we really just got to limit our mistakes. I mean, we proved early in the season we can beat this team. I think we beat them 34-0.
34-0.
I think
yeah.
it was around like week 4, week 5.
Yeah.
But we just gotta. We know that we have the ability to move the ball down the field and get the ball in the end zone. We just got to not make mistakes. I think as long as we play a very clean game, especially on offense, I'm confident this week. When we get into trouble is when I start making bad decisions and we start throwing picks and turning the ball over, because then our defense is on the field the whole time and we're not able to get long drives going. So I think we just got to. We've proven that we have the formula to get our offense going, and I think we just got to do our thing, and I think we should be able to do well this week.
Well, good. Well, thank you, Jack, for coming on the show. Congratulations on just an amazing season all the way around in Baltimore, and good luck against this Vegas team this weekend.
Thank you.
You got it, bro. So Cam's free. Dude, Chad, you beat me to it. You're like, yeah, that's what Dave said. I was going to say, yeah, I heard that about you too. Moving on from these 4 quarterfinal games. By the way, once again, on Saturday and Sunday, I believe the first game on Saturday starts at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Before we get to Diva of the season nominees, I do just want to recap the bracket real quick. As you see, Arizona traveling to Atlanta. Atlanta favored by 3.5. Charleston traveling to Florida. Florida favored by 7.5. Vancouver traveling to Mexico City. Mexico City favored by 6.5. And then the largest spread of the weekend, Baltimore favored by 10.5. The over/under 51.5, and Baltimore running away 127, only 45 in the Who You Got from SFL Nation. So there's your quarterfinals coming up this weekend. Like I said, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday at 1 o'clock. I'm sorry, 1:30 and 4 o'clock, and then on Sunday at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Let's jump into some Diva action. We've been, I wasn't here most of the season, so we didn't have any Diva of the Week candidates or winners this season. So I've asked the panelists from the last few shows. Frank and Chad have already given theirs, so we're just going to be going to the two guys in the middle today for their nominees. So Robert Garrett Jr., who is your Diva of Season 17 nominee?
My Diva of Season 17 nominee is none other than Jimmy Hazard, running back for the Baltimore Vultures. The big reason I'm nominating him, there's kind of 2. Number 1 is he's leading the league, the entire SFL, in yards per carry at 6 on the season. And I think that's a bold statement as a rookie. And then the other reason, the beginning of the season, I had actually made the comment on one of these shows, I don't know which one it was, but that I thought Baltimore might take a step back a little bit, not necessarily miss the playoffs, but not do quite as good. And obviously they went 11-1 and proved that I don't know what I'm talking about. So shout out to those guys, and Jimmy Hazard gets my nomination.
Well, and that's why you're a regular on this show, Robert. There you
Absolutely.
go. There you go. Moving on to Mike St. Green. Mike St. Green, Diva of Season 17 nominee.
And Dave, the Diva of the Week used to, it was people that had diva moments
Right.
of the week, not necessarily because of
Well,
their numbers.
I
per
wasn't
se.
around all season to kind of witness these, so I just open it up to whoever people want to say at this point.
Well, I'm giving you a guy that had a couple of diva moments
Okay.
during the season. He had a great season, numbers wise, but this guy had a couple of diva moments. He was one of the top 10 plays of the season. I can't remember if it was the season or the quarter we just did on the pregame show this past weekend. But Phoenix Jones, he had a couple of diva moments this season. One of the runs that he has was one of the best 35, 40-yard runs you'd ever see. Stiff arming a couple of guys going down the left sideline and breaking a couple tackles and scoring a touchdown. And his most diva moment was kind of a failed diva moment. It should have been like a 50, 60-yard plus touchdown. He got inside the 5, Dave, and kind of showboated a little bit and actually didn't score and was caught from behind and didn't score.
Well, showing off is more important than scoring sometimes.
Yeah, so, celebrating before he got to the end zone. I think he thought he was MSG for a second and had kind of a brain fart and didn't get in the end zone. But Phoenix Jones is my Diva of the Year nominee.
Frank, did I not get one from you and Chad last week on Thursday?
I gave you one. I gave you Jet Zero.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and Chad, you gave me the entire Baltimore offense, right?
Yeah, I can give Baltimore's offense.
Well, which, you know what, is not a bad pick, especially after what we just talked about. I mean, how do you choose between those receivers and the quarterbacks? I mean, it's impossible, right? All right,
Sure.
so that gives us 10. I'm actually going to talk with some of the other panelists, and I think we're going to come up with 2 more wild cards because, like I said, I missed most of the season. But I see some names at the top of leaderboards that I would be surprised to hear if they didn't at least have some diva moments, right? Guys like Ezekiel Love, Bullet Boletsky, a lot of guys with a lot of good stats. I'm sure they had some moments that I wasn't able to see. So I'm gonna do a little homework, probably add a couple more names to this list, and then we'll put the voting up next week to have 12 nominees. Now we're gonna go on. We're gonna move on to pick'ems. What do I want to put up for that? I'll put up the quarterfinals. There you go. You guys can see that one better. Let's start with Frank. Gunny, you're around for this. I know that on Tuesday I told you I wanted you to do this on Thursday. You're here, right?
I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Let's start with Frank the Franchise Wade. Frank, on Saturday we have the first game of the quarterfinals. Arizona traveling to Atlanta, 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Who you got?
Well, I always pick against Eddie, so it gives him a better chance to win. So I'm going to go with Atlanta.
Oh, there you go. Reverse psychology? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
All right. Robert Garrett Jr., who you got?
I'm going with Atlanta.
Atlanta. I want to see. Interesting in the chat. So on Tuesday, Arizona, Atlanta in the chat were kind of split. I'm interested to see if anybody says anything in the chat. Mike St. Green, Arizona, Atlanta. Who you got?
Arizona's going to cover the spread. Atlanta's going to win the game.
That spread is only 3.5, by the way. So
yes.
Basically Atlanta by 3.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Chad, who you got?
I could go with Arizona because they just, made me look like a bitch. But
they did.
They did really bad. Actually, I made myself look like a bitch. How about that?
Well, I mean, that's usually what happens to Giants fans anyway.
Yeah, fuck off, you Dodgers bastard. I'm gonna go with Arizona. Actually, I think
really.
I'm telling you, no offense to Atlanta. I love the Atlanta guys. They're awesome, and I think this is gonna be a close game, kind of like what Jack State is saying. But I just that defense, man. I'm telling you, I think that if they try to throw too much, I think Eddie and them's gonna make them pay. Eddie will not get a pick 6 in this game, but I go with Arizona.
What's the over under of? Well, what's the over under of Eddie ever getting a pick 6?
-5.
-5. All right, moving on to game 2. Game 2 on Saturday. That is Vancouver at Mexico City, 4 p.m. kickoff. Frank the Franchise Wade, who you got?
Man, that's tough. Vancouver's tough because that offense can score.
Oh, shoot. Hey,
points.
Hold on a second. I messed up. I wrote something in. Sorry, Frank. Gunny, I skipped right over you. I wrote Chad's answer in your slot. Sorry about that, Frank. Gunny, my bad, buddy. Who you got between I'm almost positive you're going with the ATL, but go ahead.
The Swarm have the best chance of bringing my hometown the championship, and I did predict it. I did say it. I predicted Atlanta before the playoffs started. So yes, the Swarm.
Oh, I just saw Bob Funk say 6-2 Dodgers, which makes me even happier. Which I
Yeah,
guess
Chris Taylor hit another home run.
gotta love that guy. I guess Gunny, you're kind of feeling the repeat from last season right now, aren't you?
It's starting to kick in.
It's starting to kick in. All right, Frank. Sorry to cut you off.
That's
Game
okay. I'll step
two.
aside for Gunny.
Game two. Vancouver at Mexico City.
I'm gonna go with Vancouver.
Vancouver and that high-powered offense. Robert Garrett Jr.
Um, the news has been confirmed that for dinner Chad is having mom's spaghetti. But I'll be taking Mexico City.
Mexico City. How long you been holding on to that for? Like 15 minutes.
A couple of minutes. Since about when you called on Gunny.
Right. All right. Mike St. Green. Who you got? Vancouver and Mexico City.
Vancouver absolutely cannot get off to the same slow start this week. So Mexico City.
Mexico City. All right. Chad.
That's so fucked up, dude, because I had like a pasta type ordeal. It was almost like spaghetti. Along with some moonshine. So how about that?
Shocker.
Moonshine and pasta. Hell of a
Hey, you should move. You should move down here to Tennessee. With that,
I'm ready. What are we picking? I don't even fucking know.
I think we're talking about Vancouver, Mexico City. Last I heard.
Oh yeah, Vancouver, Mexico City. Yeah. As I stated last week, I mean, a pissed off Andy's always a good coach. But I think he's going to run into the buzzsaw of Mexico City here in Phoenix Jones. I'm picking Mexico City.
Were you surprised, Chad, that the Vancouver St. Louis game was so close?
Not really.
No.
I mean, I said it was going to be close. I mean, I said it pissed off Andy, but I thought maybe he might do a little bit more. But I'm not surprised it's close because St. Louis beat them. They played them really good last time. So
okay. All right, Gunny, who you got in this game between Vancouver and Mexico City?
I'm going to pick South Division foe Mexico City to take it this year, and then next year it's going to be up between Fort Worth Toros and the Lone Star Glory.
Perfect. I love the crystal ball of Gunny. Gunny's crystal ball of wisdom. Frank the Franchise Wade, moving on to Sunday. We've got two more great matchups. First one at 1 p.m. Really good Charleston team going to a team that feels like, and if you listened to Mighty earlier, like they got something to prove now.
I tell you what, I got fired up listening to Mighty talk.
Yeah.
I can't go against him on this. I'm gonna go Florida.
Okay. Robert, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going Florida here.
Florida. Mike St. Green?
Florida's playing too well right now. 8 wins in a row. They're going to make it 9.
Chad, who you got? Charleston traveling to Florida.
yeah, Florida's been playing really well. That backup tight end is actually what beat us. I think when we played them, we only lost by 11, but. Charleston's having a great season. I've tried to give them guys as much props as I can for what they've done in their one season as owners. But Florida's just too tough. I'm going Florida.
Florida. Gunny, you going to make it a clean sweep for Florida?
My initials are BB. Bolesky is BB. I'm going with Florida.
There you have it. All right, the final game of the quarterfinals, Frank. It's 11 seed Vegas, who's on a roll. I think they're the Cinderella right now. They got that March Madness vibe going like we talked about. Traveling to number 1 Baltimore, who has been dominant all season long. Who you got?
Chad spoke about it last week. I mentioned it last week also about the defense being tough. I'm happy for my buddies Matt, Slim Shady, and Doug and Scott over there. I'm happy for them. I'd like for them to go ahead and continue on, but Baltimore's just too tough. And Jack Wigmore's another buddy, and he's done great things, and he's very consistent. So I'm gonna go with Baltimore.
Okay. Robert Garrett Jr., who you got?
I'm going with Baltimore here.
Baltimore. Mike St. Green.
Baltimore shut this team out midway through the season, 34-0. Totally dominated the game on the defensive line. They gave Joseph Green fits in that game. For me, this is going to be the most intriguing matchup this weekend because see how Vegas is going to adjust from that. But I'm going to go Baltimore. I think they'll win it, but I think it's going to be an interesting game, closer than what people think.
I'm kind of back and forth, Chad, on this one. I mean, Baltimore beat them 34 to nothing already, but it was week 4. Vegas is obviously a lot better team. Baltimore's had their first loss since then, so does that all equal up to Vegas having a closer game or potential upset?
I mean, you have to look at it this way, right? I mean, Baltimore, they had a week off last week. They ran through the buzzsaw that is known as Mike St. Green and the London Knights. Sorry, I had to put that. But like I said, I mean, Vegas's defense is a lot better than people think. I know they lost 34 to nothing last time. They've had a coaching change. I was just getting ready to say that, Eddie, you asshole. But I am actually going to pick Vegas. I am riding this damn train all the way through.
Really?
So I love the Baltimore guys, but I am picking Vegas. I am sorry, but I'm picking Vegas.
Wait. So Las Vegas had a coaching change
Since week
since week 4. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said week 4. I was like, well, doesn't that mean that goes the other way? Okay, got it. Gunny, you've got the last word on the quarterfinal pick'ems. We've got 11 seed Vegas traveling to number 1 Baltimore. Who you got?
Well, just like Mike St. Green said, the last score was 34 to 0. I can guarantee you Las Vegas is going to score more than what they did last game. I'm going to go for the underdog. I'm going to go for the Las Vegas Fury.
Wow. Here's what's funny, you guys. You guys are kind of killing me. I think the closest game on paper is probably Vancouver, Mexico City. And you guys, 4 out of 5 for Mexico City. Baltimore, the best offense in the league, high flying this and that, 11-1 and blah blah blah, and you guys have a barely 3-2 in Baltimore's favor. I can't wait to see what happens this weekend. It's going to be kind of crazy. I don't know. That seems a little crazy to me. We don't have any after dark tonight, unless somebody feels like they got something they want to talk about. But I don't really have anything. Cam's not here to chew the fat. I know there's SFL minor league games going on. Dodgers are up 6-2. That's probably the most important thing about this evening. So basically, this might be like one of the quickest shows we've ever done. I don't really have anything else. So it's a lot quicker show when you have 4 games to talk about instead of 12 games every week, right? It's a lot easier. So anyway, let me thank Frank the Franchise Wade, Robert Garrett Jr., Mike St. Green, Chad Rowland for finally showing up. I guess him and Siege Falco must have been hanging out because they both showed up around the same time. Ramos Lynn, Mighty was in the house, Jack Wigmore, and of course, as always, my main man Gunny was here with his pearls of wisdom. A couple things I want to throw out before we sign off. Number one, prayers and well wishes to Cam Curtis, his wife, who had some sort of emergency last night where he had to cancel the debut of his show. So we hope everything's going well, Cam, with her. Also, tonight's Friday night. Wait a minute. Eddie Gage with breaking news on Ashley's show. Apparently, Colin Hart has stated that he is applying for free agency. So there's some after dark. There's some breaking news for you. Eddie, thank you for that. That's a little bit of a shocker. Before we finish signing off, let me just run through the panel real quick. I'll go in reverse order this time. Chad, that news, I guess, came out earlier. That show released at 6 p.m., which I haven't had a chance to listen to yet. Colin Hart applying for free agency. Is that a surprise to you?
No, it's not. I mean, here's the thing, man. And this is after dark time, right?
I just went to after dark. Do your thing, bro.
So let's let the Hunch Punch do the talking. Right? Let's let Hunch Punch do the talking here real quick. So here's the take. I'm not surprised at this. I won't be surprised if half that team leaves. And look, I like, I don't even know why I'm going to say I don't like anybody from here. I don't even know anybody from here. I mean, it's just, I think with what's been going on and the stories that I've heard, I won't reveal anything that I've heard behind the scenes and stuff. I don't think it's a functional franchise right now. And having a guy like Colin Hart leave,
that's
kind of shows you what's going on. So I think that at the end of the day, that's a good move on his part. That's going to make, I mean, if he doesn't wear a Revolution uniform next season, I don't know what the hell's going to with them guys. That'd be a great
Right?
pickup for them.
That would be, that would actually, the timing on that is great.
I mean, for God's sakes, tell Ross Knapp to get off his ass to do his job. But I think that would be a great move for them. I think that'd be a perfect home for him. Maybe he's got a team in mind. Maybe if Tulsa finally releases Sanzo Robinson, maybe they sign him and try to rebuild Tulsa. Who knows? And I know, careful with speculation. You're right, Mighty, but I don't know, man. There's too much stuff that I've heard about that where I'm not surprised at all that he's leaving.
By the way, Eddie letting me know that I guess apparently he said on Ashley's show, he also mentioned Mike St. Green that he almost left last season. Now they've been in a rut. I mean, they were very successful. Obviously, been kind of in a rut the last couple of years. That's
why I'm not.
Yeah. What do you make of this, Mike St. Green?
Yeah, I was actually on that panel the other day, so yeah, I definitely got that news a couple of days ago. It actually broke a little earlier today on one of the first games on the ticker tonight. So of course I'm not surprised. He did mention that he did want to give him one more season after the poor season that they had, season 16, and so yeah. To be honest with you, I can't fault the guy. He's given a lot of time in his career at one spot, and sometimes you want to see some new scenery. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me, and basically I'll give him the same advice that I kind of gave him on the show, man. From being a free agent last season, enjoy the ride. Talk to a lot of people, which I'm sure he's going to get, a lot of phone calls from people that are needing a running back, and just enjoy the ride, man, and have fun with it, and hopefully ends up somewhere where he'll be happy next season.
Absolutely. Robert Swole just mentioned in the chat, or he could just retire. Again, I haven't heard Ashley's show yet, so I don't know exactly what he said about retiring or not. Mike, maybe
I don't think he's going. I don't think he's going to retire.
So?
I would be surprised if that's the route he would go. I'm looking for him to still be in the league next season.
So, Robert, as you hear that he's probably not going to retire, Chad already brought up Louisiana. Are there any other landing spots that he could go to right now? That I'm trying to think if anybody else has lost any running backs.
I think Louisiana is the only team I know of that's lost a running back. It puts them in an interesting position, I think. Couple rookies that'll be coming out of the draft this season that will be by far SFL ready running backs. So to compare them with Colin Hart,
right,
and get the chance to do that, sort of kind of like what us in Fort Worth had the chance to do our first season with when we brought in Xander Gold in the end, where we got to look at the rookies versus bringing in a veteran like that, and what that can do for you. And it's I'm sure they're in a very exciting time right now, and it'll be interesting to see where he ends up.
Yeah, Mike St. Green, Eddie also saying that he says that he loves the league and he is not retiring. So, Frank, we know he's not retiring. Your team happens to be a team that needs a great running back like Colin Hart. What would a guy like Colin Hart versus having to draft a new running back do for your franchise? Because you're kind of like Lone Star and a couple other teams right now where we're right on the cusp. You need, maybe that one little thing to get you over the hump. Could Colin Hart do that for Louisiana?
I think Colin Hart could. I don't make those decisions. That's Ross and Gerald. So, I don't know if there's been contact already or whatever, but it would be great to have him there, and maybe be that final piece to get it. Now he's whoever it is going to be filling big shoes, because Reggie Streeter was an animal, and I enjoyed Reggie being in the locker room and all that stuff. And I was kind of crushed when Reggie announced that he wasn't going to be coming back, that he was retiring. Not crushed and upset at him, but just that the fact that he's not going to be with us anymore, because he was such a valuable piece. So whoever comes to Louisiana to play running back is going to have some big shoes to fill. But Colin Hart, he could do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Eddie Gage, thanks for throwing that out there. Appreciate that. I had no idea. So that's always good to have a little something to talk about. as Mike St. Green is trying to show us how clean his glasses are. I guess I don't know what the hell he's doing. But as I was starting to say before the Colin Hart news, prayers and well wishes, thoughts, SFL thoughts to Cam Curtis's wife. Hope everything is okay after last night. Can't wait to see the debut of your show that's been postponed to next week. Sounds like Eddie is not doing a show tomorrow night, so he will not be saying it with his chest. He will be preparing for Atlanta instead. Tomorrow night, though, we will have Netma. I believe that's at 6:30 Eastern. Let me confirm that real quick for you guys. Yep. So 6:30 Eastern tomorrow night, we have Netma. So there's only one show tomorrow night. Usually you get three. When you can, when Nelson's around, but tomorrow you're just getting one, so make the most of it. Tune in to Emma at 6:30 p.m. Do we have any minor league updates real quick before we sign off? Anybody see the games or get well Andy Hamilton. What's the news with Andy Hamilton? Anybody know? Something that happened to him? While we're thinking about that real quick, Simulation FL, Lexington 24, Ottawa 10. Cavalry have scored 10 unanswered. And then Memphis 24-17. Ooh, that sounds like a really good game over my San Jose Flight in the fourth quarter. Third quarter in Ottawa. People are saying get well, Andy. Quarantined Dave. Oh, he has COVID. Wow. Wow, we just talked to him 2 nights ago, too. Well, again, well wishes to Andy Hamilton as well. Hope you and Robert Garrett Jr. both have mild symptoms with COVID and are back, on your feet and doing your thing in no time. That goes to you, Robert, as well. And appreciate you being here, even though you've been feeling the way you've been feeling. All right.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep, always. All right, folks, that's a wrap. Thanks for coming out tonight. That's your quarterfinal preview. We will be back Tuesday. I don't know. This is gonna be like 4 shows in a row. It's weird. It's kind of crazy. We'll do a quarterfinal recap on Tuesday, and then I think I'll do a show next Thursday as long as there's not like a Dodger game and SFL games and everything else going on at the same time. But we'll
Dodgers
see.
won't be playing.
Don't worry.
You out of your mind. You are both out of your mind.
It won't be.
That's all right. You know what you can do? You just keep watching check swing replays there.
Dodgers blow goats. I have proof.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. Talk your smack. That's okay. We're the champions. We're the reigning champions. And we're going to be back-to-back champions. There you go. All right, everybody. That's a wrap. It's, what was it, 10? We're under an hour and a half. Enjoy the games this weekend. They're all going to be good ones. Good luck to everybody, all 8 teams, the Elite 8. Good luck to everybody in life except for Chad. And more important than anything, I will see you Tuesday, 9 o'clock right here, Twitch, when I see you at the Tees. And go Dodgers!